Be Wealthy and Smart, episode 1505.
Step into a world of wealth and financial freedom without budgets, boredom, or bosses on Be Wealthy and Smart. And now, here's your host, Linda P. Jones.
Welcome to Be Wealthy and Smart. I'm Linda P. Jones, America's Wealth Mentor, empowering women and men worldwide to financial freedom. On today's show, we're going to talk about stocks rebounding on news of a China deal. Stocks rallied on Monday after the U.S. and China agreed to temporarily slash tariffs following negotiations over the weekend in Switzerland. The Dow Jones average jumped ahead 2.5% and the S&P was up 2.9%, while the Dow surged 4%. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said that talks with China had been very productive and both countries had agreed to cut reciprocal tariffs by 115% for 90 days. That brings U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods down to 30% and Chinese tariffs on U.S. imports to 10%. Bessent said he expects to meet once again with representatives from Beijing in the next few weeks to iron out a bigger agreement. Of course, this is all after the S&P 500 nearly closed in bear market territory, down more than 20% from a record set in February following the Liberation Day announcement. And if we take a look at the volatility in the last month, it's quite eye-opening. In the last 1 month performance, the Nasdaq is up 10.83%, the S&P 500 is up 8.21%, and the Dow is up 4.93%. But that doesn't tell the whole story, because when you look at small caps, mid caps, emerging markets, and the dollar, even more interesting things have been happening. In the last month, mid caps are up 13.07%, small caps are up 11.69%, and 12.47% for small cap growth, and emerging markets are up 9.42%. I think what we're seeing is a cooling of the trade tensions between the U.S. and China, which has allowed investors to have more appetite for risk. Traders are hoping that the U.S. and China will strike a broader, durable agreement that will reignite economic growth and boost crude oil demand. Oil prices have plunged and are at the lowest level in 4 years. Earlier this month, and OPEC has agreed to rapidly increase supply of oil to the market this month and next month, which should further bring down oil prices. That should mean that shows up in the inflation numbers with lower inflation, which will allow interest rates to come down. UBS head of fixed income Kurt Remain wrote, "We believe peak uncertainty over trade has passed, but market volatility is likely to stay. Our base case remains that the effective U.S. tariff rate, excluding China, will moderate toward 15% by year-end." All of this has also been good for cryptocurrencies, and in the last month, Bitcoin is up 23%, Ethereum is up 58%, and XRP is up 23.7%. Most of the cryptocurrencies had been lagging this year, but have now picked up their returns and have sprinted ahead stock market gains once again. If we haven't yet turned the corner yet on the stock market, we're very close to that. I do think the bottom is behind us. And towards the end of the month, we're going to start seeing sharper gains in the stock market all through the second half of the year. Everything is looking very positive to me in my cycles work, whether it's interest rates, which should be trending lower, whether it's stocks, which should be trending higher, real estate, cryptocurrencies, everything in my cycles looks like it's about to turn for the better. So if you've been feeling a little gloomy, hold on, things are about to turn and take off. If you haven't yet subscribed to Be Wealthy and Smart, hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified of new podcasts as soon as they become available. And all of my podcasts are on my website at lindapjones.com/podcasts. And while you're there, sign up for my weekly newsletter for more wealth tips for your financial freedom. That's all for today. Until next time, live the good life and be wealthy and smart.
Thank you for listening to Be Wealthy and Smart with Linda P. Jones. Share the wealth and tell your family and friends about the show. Check out our website, blog, and social media for more riches at www.bewealthyandsmart.com.